guys, so today we're going to be pressing in our seal for our carrier bearing. You've got your seal. You have to have a really nice clean carrier, so you get in there with some acetone and clean where the seal goes. You're going to need some Loctite and your special tool to press your seal in. Now for these seals I recommend getting Loctite all around the outside. You must have a continuous bead. It doesn't have to be perfect, it's a big seal. We're going to set the seal in, and we've got special tool, part number 805372. This tool has a little ridge so that you do not damage the plastic on putting the seal in the carrier. Then what we're going to do is we're going to press our seal down to depth. This seal tool also keeps our depth correct. Now this is a factory. Now you want to make sure that, as you saw as I was pushing down, that the carrier, the seal, corrects itself straight in as it goes into the carrier. And I can see the red Loctite all the way around. The press has now bottomed out. Seal. We look at our depth. The plastic groove should be at approximately the same height as the aluminum right here. So as far as our seal press goes, now that we've done that, this seal is finished. Next, we're going to go on to press our shaft seal. I should say inner shaft seal. Okay guys, so here, this is our outer shaft seal. We have already cleaned the inside with acetone. Now all we need to do is get our seal. Our seal is part number 8M0033407. You can also buy a seal kit, but the seal kit comes with a lot of extra seals. What we're going to do is we're going to set this here. We're going to grab our red Loctite real quick, and then we're going to red Loctite this seal as well. Okay, so here we have our seal. We're going to add Loctite around the outer edge. Set it here. These are all perfectly clean surfaces. We have a special tool, 805358, which protects our plastic sleeve. Right there. We're going to center this up. Now, this is not pressing on the gear, this is pressing on the shaft. There is a shaft cap that is underneath on the bottom, so that when you're pressing this seal in on this shaft, you will not be pressing on the gear. You will only be pressing on the shaft. Now this is set to factory depth. We actually have a tool that allows us to press a little more than factory depth because the inner shaft is the one that has a problem. So what we do is we put this in, and then we will put this on top. Put this seal on. And this does not damage the plastic sleeve. Okay, we probably have about 50 to 80 thousandths of seal change depth here. Now, if you're talking about the shaft I think has about 200 thousandths of seal depth in and out. You need to have the plastic at least flush with this, if not more. So we've got, I'd say, probably 60 to 80 thou of movement on it. Which will give us a new seal surface on the shaft, preventing us from having to buy a brand new shaft. Now, if the shaft has vertical lines or pitting, we can't reuse it. We set factory seal depth, we put a new inner shaft in. But on this style, if we only have grooves, we can usually move the shaft and the thing runs good for another 10-15 years. So let's go back to the bench and assemble this together. Okay, here we are. We've got our new seal pressed in on our shaft. We've got our new seal carrier already in. We've got full white pads what I call white pad service. So we clean everything up real nice and good before we get it. So now the next thing is we're going to replace the O-ring on this carrier. We're going to have everything ready so that when it's time, it's just going to go all right back together very quickly. We have our new O-ring. I like to clean the groove out that the O-ring was sitting in. Install our new O-ring. Just like so. Make sure it's not rolled. It is currently rolled. So there's a line on all O-rings. If that line starts rolling over from one side to the other, pick it up, rotate it around, and that O-ring will no longer be rolled. It will uncoil itself as you pick it up and spin. Now, the way we assemble this is we're going to start with our main shaft. We're going to take some 2,4-C, just like so. We're going to take this and take about 2 pumps, set that back down, and we are going to put grease inside the seal area. Then what we're going to do is we're going to get our inner shaft. Since we've replaced the seal surface, the shaft will be good. We'll set this up, and we are going to slide the outer shaft down, being careful not to nick the seal as it goes down. There we go. Oh, you know what? I forgot the bearing. We need a bearing. Hold on real quick. There's a thrust bearing for our shaft. That is part number 865260. This bearing is cheap. If you have any nicks, burrs, brinelling, spindling, anything on your bearings, you go ahead, you buy a brand new one. Oink, all the way down. Now we're going to do the same procedure. Okay, spins nice and freely, no noise, no issues, feels good. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our case and take a look over there. Now what I recommend for you guys, I put this just like that. It seems to be easier to install as the whole thing is going down. Now you're going to want to grab, when you're dealing with this, you're going to want to grab from here. Now I'm going to set this just like this for the moment, and we're going to go to our drive. So here's our drive right here. We have our reverse gear main bearing shim. What I usually do is I put the thick shim down first, then the thin shim. I didn't talk about this when it came out because 9 times out of 10, the bearings will stay in the case. I grab them with 2 fingers spread, and you just go down in the case, and there's a lip that they will fit in and stay there. Now we're going to grab our shaft with our bearing, and we're going to set the whole thing down as an assembly in the drive. Make sure that there's no dirt as you scoot this down. Sometimes the bearing will decide that it doesn't want to go in the what do you call it, the bearing cup. Just be patient with it. It'll go down. If it doesn't, you can just lightly tap side to side with your fingers. And there we go. Once we've got enough and we've got threads, we are going to grab our retainer nut. And our nut is directional. If you can see this, see the writing right here, how it says left hand off and it's got our part number? We want to be able to see that marking. So we're going to set that around, like so. And you're going to spin it in the opposite direction. So you're going to spin it counterclockwise to thread it down. Now we're going to grab our special tool. we are going to go down and down and down and down. This will take a while. There's a lot of threads in here because the same threads that this are in are what the carrier is in. Now the torque on this is 200 foot-pounds. There is a chart that you can use in the manual to determine what your torque is. Okay? If you go 90 degrees to the installation tool, you can torque at the same value. If you go in line with the tool, meaning, I'll show you what I'm talking. Here's your tool, right? If you put your torque wrench like this, then there's a calculation you need to make. But if you go 90 degrees to it, you get exact torque based on angles. Go like that. And then I'm going to get this set up for 200 foot-pounds. There's a little bit of slop in this tool, so there you go. Oh, 193. Okay, 200. Pull the tool out. The shaft should not, it will be loose because you don't have a carrier, but it shouldn't pull up or down very much. Now what we're going to do is grab our carrier, but I'm going to show you what I do to the carrier before we get it in.